Now that the NFL Combine is over, Patriots insiders have revealed what New England plans to do, not just in free agency, but also in the draft, and what they could possibly do on the trade block. We already know that Mike Vrabel wants to make this roster and take them back to the winning franchise that we as New England Patriots fans have once known. So we're going to break down the latest right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Allie Barefoot, and I'm going to be honest. For some reason, our bosses think that the AFC East needed a few more channels here at Chat Sports, which means I have challenged the Dolphins Today channel, Bills Breakdown, and Jets Report to a March subscriber battle. Not only do I want to be first in our conference this year under Mike Vrabel, but I also really want to beat Nick Roloff, Tyler Smith, and Patrick Seaman. So go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. If you guys have not, you can join 22,000 loyal Patriots fans right here on YouTube for free. So let's go on ahead and jump into free agency. This is what I'm most excited for. We are 1 week away from NFL free agency starting, and the Patriots have more cap space than they probably know what to do with. And thanks to Elliott Wolf last year, who actually took ownership and said, I didn't do enough with the roster, I fully expect him to make it up to us as Patriots fans to hand Mike Vrabel an open checkbook and say, sign here. And the latest you guys should know about free agency and what the Patriots are really dealing with here is that March 12th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time is when free agency finally kicks off. You can expect Mike Vrabel to absolutely be swinging for the fences. Legal tampering period does start 48 hours prior. And the most beautiful asset of all is that we are number one in the NFL in cap space with about $127 million. So go on ahead and think about your favorite player in free agency. Add on another one. The Patriots can sign multiple players this offseason, and I expect them to sign multiple players. Well, per Andrew Callahan and Doug Kyed, here are the top free agent choices for New England this offseason. Left tackle Ronnie Stanley. Defensive tackle Milton Williams coming fresh off a Super Bowl. Cornerback Charvarius Ward. Wide receiver Chris Godwin. Cornerback DJ Reed. And another cornerback Byron Murphy Jr. If there's one thing I'm taking from this, they want to give Christian Gonzalez some help in the secondary. But the reason why Stanley and Godwin have asterisks is because do not be surprised if these two players end up being re-signed by their teams, the Ravens and the Buccaneers. Obviously, Chris Godwin coming off that injury, but I personally think that they have their wide receiver one in Mike Evans, so maybe Godwin will want to test the free agent market. Same thing with Ronnie Stanley, but the latest report does show the Ravens are pretty high on re-signing their left tackle. So you're probably thinking, Allie, I didn't see my favorite top free agent target, and that's going to be Tee Higgins. Well, there's something to note here is that per Callahan and Kyed, one agent offered at the Combine, everyone in the league knows that New England wants Tee Higgins. The only problem is Higgins may not be available. As you guys know, the Bengals currently want to franchise tag Tee Higgins for the second year in a row, which I personally think really sucks for Higgins. But this time, they want to try and make this to a long-term deal. If that doesn't work out, you can probably expect Tee Higgins to possibly request a trade later on this offseason or maybe even hold out. So it's not a complete closed door on Tee just yet. But what the Patriots did last year is they put all their eggs into one wide receiver's basket, and then it didn't work out. So they're just looking to expand their options, and it looks like they want to increase and improve multiple positions, which thank God, because there are several holes the Patriots need to fill. That's what she said. Which NFL free agent do you want the Patriots to sign? It can be any of them, even people I didn't list on today's video. Go on ahead and let me know in the comment section. But now you know a little bit about what's going on in front office in New England and how they're planning on attacking free agency once it starts next week. But the good news is that if they do happen to strike out on any of those players that I have already mentioned, they have backup plans. They've got plan A, B, and C. So if Ronnie Stanley, Milton Williams are not available, there has been discussions on Cam Robinson, Dan Moore. So they are possibly looking at other, not as great prospects, but they want to make sure they're signing somebody even if it's not their top choice. But I thought it was kind of interesting that Callahan and Kyed also mentioned names that they are not going to be pursuing. Stephon Diggs, which I understand Stephon Diggs a little bit. Josh Sweat, which obviously the intention that Philadelphia is probably going to hold on to Sweat, and I don't blame them. Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack. I was a little upset about Khalil Mack. I think the linebacker position is a really sneaky position the Patriots need to bulk up because we saw what happened with Juwan Bentley last year with an injury. We know that Jelani Tavai, not the favorite per fans right now, but Jelani Tavai really can't lead that pack either. Christian Ellis, a backup guy that ended up really showcasing his skills, but I do still think if you don't go after Khalil Mack here, you do need to bulk up that linebacker room, whether that's going to be with a trade or possibly with the NFL draft. So why not these top players? Why are we completely ruling out Stephon Diggs and Josh Sweat already? We haven't even called them. We haven't even seen what it would possibly take. And knowing that we have $127 million in cap space, why can't we sign a player like that and still go get one of our top choices, possibly like a DJ Reed? Well, that's because Callahan and Kyed actually had a reasoning, and that's because New England is going to take this draft the way they should, round by round, see what is best available. And they broke it down here saying that overall, the Patriots are taking the trenches first approach to free agency, with cornerback, wide receiver, and linebacker close behind. Their plan is to come heavy on day one. Be ready on March 12th for the Patriots to make some calls by extending their best offers to their top targets. Ideally, a left tackle receiver, defensive lineman, and defensive playmakers in the back seven. Unlike past off seasons, the Patriots won't hesitate to sign a player if a recent draft pick plays the same position. I overall love this. I like that the Patriots are starting in the trenches. You build from the trenches, and everything else will fall into place. We saw what Drake May had to deal with. I don't care if you can get Tee Higgins. I really don't. Because what does that matter if Drake May is getting sacked with 2.5 seconds every time the ball is snapped? You have got to protect Drake May, and everything else will start to fall in line. So if they're going to start with the trenches, keep that mindset when they head into the NFL draft, when they head into the trade market. Because a wide receiver will come, running backs will come, linebackers can follow, but you need an offensive line and a defensive line first and foremost. So could they possibly find that with the 2025 NFL draft? I absolutely think so. And with the Patriots having 9 overall picks, you can go best available towards round 6 and 7. But that number 1 spot is where I think the Patriots can really bulk up a position here. Number 4, number 38, number 69. Thank you to Matthew Judon, which the Patriots absolutely won that trade. Pick number 77, which you could also possibly leverage for a trade, still keep your first third-round pick, and then possibly trade away your second. We have no 6th-round picks this year, but we get to really bulk up in round 7 with 3 picks. But here are what Patriots insiders are saying the top choices at number 4 is, and this came as a hell of a surprise to me, Will Campbell or Mason Graham. But then when you really think about it, if they want to build the trenches first, then this really does make sense. I think that Will Campbell is the best offensive tackle in this year's draft class, and I think the defensive line is absolutely stacked in this year, and you cannot go wrong with a guy like Mason Graham. Vrabel wants aggressive players. Vrabel wants good locker room guys, and I've seen everything that they show in the locker room and on the field that is going to fit the mold that Vrabel wants. That's another reason why Devon Gottschall has now gotten permission to seek a trade, is because he doesn't fit in the defensive scheme that Vrabel was trying to create. I think a guy like Mason Graham would. I personally would take Mason Graham over Will Campbell. I think the defensive tackle like him can do wonders in our 3-4 front, and I do think that when it comes to an offensive tackle, I personally would rather give Drake May a veteran to protect him rather than a rookie, because we had 2 rookies last year in Layden Robinson and Caden Wallace, but I'll go on ahead and let you guys choose. Type WC for Will Campbell, type MG for Mason Graham. Which one would you guys rather have at pick number 4 if the Patriots do decide to keep that pick, and what is best available? Now, speaking of best available, if Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter are there at number 4, you can expect the Patriots to draft either of these guys. But, of course, the latest mock drafts and what they've been hearing at the NFL Combine is that it looks like Hunter and Carter may not be there at number 4, which is absolutely insane that Carter is now possibly jumped to number 1. Yes, he's dealing with a little bit of injury here, which may bring him back down to number 4 for us, which I would be over the moon with Abdul Carter. I'd be even more excited for a guy like Travis Hunter, who is adamant to play both ways. But even if he does primarily play quarterback, a secondary with Gonzo and Travis Hunter would literally make NFL teams quiver. Any quarterback trying to throw would immediately regret it. But I don't know if they're going to be available, so you guys can't expect Will Campbell and Mason Graham to be on their top priorities at pick number 4. But we also know that because Mike Vrabel wants to start building from the trenches and they want to look at wide receivers and linebackers throughout the draft, keep in mind we do not have a round 6 pick. We have 3 round 7. What does that mean for the rest of the draft? Because Mason Graham, Will Campbell, that's just one pick. Well, Andrew Callahan and Doug Kyed continue to carry on about what they heard in the NFL Combine. The Patriots are also believed to be targeting cornerbacks in the middle rounds. Sources say with an understanding that they will continue to build out their offensive and defensive lines regardless of how free agency unfolds. They want to bulk up their secondary. They realize that when any team has 2 top wide receivers, whether it's Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams, you only have 1 Christian Gonzalez. We need to make sure that our passing defense is incredible. Then when you start to build up that 3-4 front and you start to bulk up those gaps and those trenches, you can work a little bit more on the run game, then you're back at the top 10 for a defense, which the Patriots did not see last year, which was also really unfortunate. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about the trade market in just one second. Let me tell you guys real quick about this amazing deal we have going on right now with our friends over at Fanatics. If you guys are looking to bulk up your t-shirt drawer, which I know my boyfriend's is overflowing right now, but one more t-shirt couldn't hurt, right? At least that's what he says. If you guys want this Patriots t-shirt right now to wear at Gillette Stadium later this year, you can wear it right now to Bruins games. Fenway is set to open in the next month. You can wear this literally anywhere, and it's a great conversation starter. You can talk about Mike Vrabel and the Patriots for this year. You can get it in red, blue, or white as long as you use our code, chatsports.com/New England T. It'll get you 50% off. $19.99. Your girl loves sales. I don't buy anything full price. I spend my Saturdays with coffee and coupons. So if you guys want to take this deal, take it from me, chatsports.com/New England T. If you have horrible memory like I do, I'm going to put it in the comment section under this video. Click it. It'll take you right there. Now let's get to the juicy stuff, the trades, the Adam Schefter reports that you guys are going to see on your Twitter in the next couple of weeks. Number 1, I do want to start off with a hot trade target that a lot of you guys have been in the comment section saying, Allie, what about wide receiver DK Metcalf? Well, the latest out of the combine is the Patriots are not in on DK Metcalf, which I absolutely love. I love this. Why? Because DK decided to already go out there and say that New England is not a desirable place to play. Number 1, I do not want anybody in New England that does not want to be there. If he's saying that before he puts on a Patriots jersey, I can only imagine what he would say after a loss in a Patriots jersey. However, if things happen to change, they could possibly want to make a trade if he becomes extremely available, possibly for Joe Milton. But as of right now, the Patriots are out on DK Metcalf. Their main focus with him is character. And like I said, anybody that says that about New England probably doesn't want to play here. And then another trade target for us was Deebo Samuel. And over the weekend, if you guys got the same notification that I did, Samuel is now a Commander. Looks like he's going to go play alongside Terry McLaurin. So Deebo's out. Commanders have traded for Deebo Samuel, but these were not the only 2 trade targets that the Patriots were possibly trying to acquire. And according to Callahan and Kyed, they are still looking at good receivers in the NFL and possibly not having to give up that much in a trade. Why? Because you could have a player like a Cooper Kupp that is a possible cut candidate from the Los Angeles Rams that you can go and try and sign post-June 1st, maybe even pre-June 1st, depending on what Sean McVay and the Rams decide to do. Like I've said, because the Patriots have $127 million in cap space, Kupp doesn't have to be your only move. Let me rephrase that. Kupp should not be your only move. But to give Drake May a veteran, I really like Kupp for the Patriots. Now, if you want to go on ahead and draft a guy like Teteroa McMillan or Travis Hunter, I'm all for that. Possibly sign an Amari Cooper or Chris Godwin in free agency. You are building that wide receiver core player by player. But we do know the Patriots are open, and they are looking to trade for a top wide receiver. Mike Vrabel said it's very rare to find a top wide receiver in free agency, so we are willing to make a trade. Now, who could they possibly trade for? My number one target would be A.J. Brown. It'd probably be Mike Vrabel's too, considering they used to coach and play together back in Tennessee. But obviously, he just came off a Super Bowl. The Eagles are probably extremely high on A.J. Brown right now. They're probably not looking to switch up their roster too much because don't fix what isn't broken. But A.J. Brown could be a really good resource for New England. I don't have to tell you guys how great A.J. Brown is. You all watch the Super Bowl, and knowing that he has an inside connection with Mike Vrabel, maybe they could possibly at least call the front office and see what he would be worth. Because the Patriots really, I think there's only a couple players that are locked down moving forward. Everybody else is on the table. But if not Brown, I made a video more recently on our Patriots Today channel about possibly trading for Chris Olave. My only flaw with Olave is that he has a lot of concussions. So does our quarterback. So I really don't want to possibly trade for a guy that only played 8 games this season because the concussions take him out of the game. And I don't like concussions. I don't like forcing him to come back. I don't like seeing that. It freaks me out. So with a guy like Chris Olave, he does have a really, really high ceiling. We just don't know how much he's able to give every season because of those injuries. But I think a sleepy trade target would be Christian Watson. Why? Because you've seen Drake May's strength. You've seen the go routes. We've tried to do them with Tyquan Thornton. We've tried to do them with Kayshon Boutte, and sometimes they work out. But with a guy like Christian Watson, his primary role is a go route, is a deep ball. And I think that if you were to possibly have a quick slant guy like Demario Douglas and then have your screw it, Watson's down there somewhere type of player, it could help Drake May and it could open your playbook a little bit. Same thing with Watson, though. He is recently coming off an injury, so you do have to take that with a grain of salt. Those are just 3 wide receiver targets the Patriots could possibly play for. There's a whole league full of them that Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf could make the call on. So I'll let you guys make the call. Who should the Patriots trade for? I just gave 3 ideas. Feel free to comment those down below or comment whoever you guys want. The reason why we have Patriots Today by Chat Sports is I talk, you talk, and then we talk about it. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, you're obviously interested in something. So go on ahead, hit that sub button for me if you guys haven't already. This is just the start of the offseason. It's about to get extremely spicy.